She said, they raped me.
Y esto surge a partir de un abuso, de una violación, como que mi cuerpo no pertenecía a mí mismo.
This is torture. This is against human rights. This is against dignity of this woman.
Le vrai problème est que ces tests n'ont pas de fondement médical.
Families collude with medical professionals to sterilize them.
Жить не в своем теле — это ужасно.
Избивали, каждый день, чтобы выбить трансгендерность из человека.
Son obrigadas, por ejemplo, a tener relaciones sexogenitales.
Ainda que a mulher não tenha vontade ou prazer sexual na altura, ela sente-se obrigada a fazer porque o parceiro quer.
That family, they killed their daughter.
Sometimes they have been killed because of not bleeding after the first intercourse.
They have knowledge gap, they have misconception.
A comprehensive sex ed curriculum would be critical.
In many cultures, it's very stigmatizing. Even go to a reproductive health service facility.
Women and girls reported over and over again things that their male partners did to make it impossible for them to control their bodies and particularly to control their using contraception.
Es muy común, ¿no? Legislar de una forma que no habla con las comunidades de las cuales está cambiando la legislación.
When our laws and our policies are vague and our language is ambiguous, it doesn't provide for survivors or people who are experiencing this level of abuse or violence.
Creo que eso me llevó a saber que soy dueño de mi cuerpo.
Memang murni tubuh saya adalah otonomi saya.
Saya
adalah hak saya.
Okay, so there keep being interruptions with the internet, but as you've seen, the subject of bodily autonomy and integrity includes a whole lot of spheres, including subjects that are very uncomfortable for a lot of people to talk about. But this is why we are here, and this is what we are working towards, taking steps towards addressing all those uncomfortable issues, as well as dismantling, just taking leadership and taking the forefront position of dismantling these problems and the things that allow them to be maintained. So from the brief aspect of the video that you've watched, I'd like to hear from you what your thoughts are. You can share in the chat box as well.
Bodily autonomy is the right to rule over your own body.
Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else?
To feel free to make own choices around your body.
Yes. Yes. Just one more person and then we move on to the next thing. Just one more person and then we move on.
You can do anything what you want to do.
But yes, you've kept it very key aspects that bodily autonomy is about
Bodily
taking control.
autonomy.
Can we mute themselves, please? Hello? Okay,
Hello,
yes. So
Bimbai.
bodily autonomy. Yes. You can still hear, Julia, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay. But yeah. Yes, I see that in the chat box. Understanding the principles of the rights to bodily autonomy and integrity to mean that everyone has inherent dignity and should have the ability to exercise complete agency over their bodies. Yes, that is very rich in many, many key aspects that we'll be exploring. And yeah, so throughout the workshop, we will be exploring the principle of these, or at least now we've started. So in this sphere of health, we are addressing taking control of our bodies as well as helping other people to take care or to take control of their bodies in spaces of healthcare. Okay, I just want to share the slide with you. But yes, so you've all captured the meaning, the essential meaning, the fundamental aspects of bodily autonomy. And without bodily autonomy, that is how abuse then happens. All forms of abuse then happen when there is a violation of that autonomy, of your right to autonomy. Can you see the screen? Autonomy.
Not yet. Okay. Oh yeah, it's coming.
Okay. Okay, so there is a difference between bodily autonomy and bodily integrity. There are two spheres that do work that work very close to each other, but sometimes they can be mistaken for the same thing. So autonomy refers to the freedom, like a lot of you pointed out, freedom to make decisions relating to your own body. Then integrity refers to the right not to have anyone touch your body physically and for anyone to interfere physically with your body without consent. So a key word here is consent. And consent in the medical spaces is important to us because it comes in various forms. Sometimes the consent that we want to encourage here or to empower and emphasize is informed consent. Just going to write it down. Yeah, informed consent. And just from that, I just want someone to say what their understanding is. What is the difference between informed and uninformed consent? And are you able to give, let me just start there. What is the difference between informed and uninformed consent? You can share in the chat box or unmute yourself.
Can you hear us? Hello.
Hello, from
Yes,
roadside. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Repeat the question, please.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Now, can you please repeat the question?
Okay. I have just said here. I have just consent. Right? We're talking about consent. What is informed consent and what is uninformed consent?
Okay. Consent is if. Okay, yeah. What? Con. Aku tinggal mah.
Okay. Just again because of time. I'd like you to put your answers in the chat box. And then I'll move on to the next thing. Okay. So without specifically answering the question, I'll also just say consent is your ability to make a decision. I think a lot of you pointed that out when you answered the first question on bodily autonomy and integrity. So with the integrity aspect, consent is a very key thing that has to be emphasized, whether between people, socially, or in the health space itself. And what that means also is that you have to know what medical decisions are being made over your body. Sometimes this aspect of bodily autonomy has been violated without people actually knowing that it's being violated, especially in hospitals where they give you maybe lots and lots of forms to fill out, but they don't tell you what it is you're signing. And the general understanding is that the healthcare system or the healthcare professionals you're working with want the best for you. So whatever they're making you sign is for your benefit, but that's not always the case. I don't know if any of you know of a situation that happened a few years ago where, and it's something that also came up in the video that I played earlier, where the hospitals made a decision to make people sign documents, consent documents saying that they will participate, that they will get certain treatment. And then it turned out that the medical practitioners had made these women who were HIV positive consent to being sterilized or losing the ability to have children without their knowledge. So that is an example of, yes, uninformed consent. The expectation that these women had was that they were getting help. But what was happening was these doctors just made a decision for them that we're going to sterilize these women, take away their ability to have children. And they signed these papers without knowing what they were signing. And essentially, they did give that permission. So that is a situation where understanding consent is very crucial to each and every one of us. and in all the situations that we encounter, especially as we work in groups to try and improve our healthcare system for ourselves. So I'm seeing here some responses in the chat box regarding what informed consent is. Informed consent is permission granted in full knowledge of the possible consequences. Yes, this is exactly what I was talking about. Knowing all the consequences of the decision that is being made about your body. And then what? Yeah, typically which is given by a patient to a doctor for a treatment with the knowledge of the possible risks and benefits. Yes, so that is informed consent. You have to know what it is that could happen if things don't go well, and to know what it is that what the benefits are of whatever procedure that you are agreeing to. Now here are of health services that are available. I won't go through them because they're not too important to what we're trying to cover, but I will share these slides with you later. So, yes, in order to be informed about the ethical part of consent, Namibia provides the standards that are required in the in a document or on the website for the Health Professions Council of Namibia. And some of these decisions some of these ethical considerations that they make also include fully educating you, yes, and then making decisions that ultimately are for your benefit. So now I would like us to just quickly draw back to our context and to identify or to talk about some barriers that stop people. What stops people from enjoying the best healthcare that they can? Or rather, let me ask the question, are there any barriers is there anything in your situation that stops you from enjoying healthcare treatment from professionals to the best of your ability? Or let me phrase that differently. I think I made the question too long. Yeah, I'll just type it in the... Okay, I don't know if you can see the screen. Can someone just indicate in the chat box or unmute just to say if you can see the screen?
You only see the
We only see the poster.
Okay. Yeah, so we want to identify barriers in the medical healthcare system that we have, right? And we have to ask these questions. Who is benefiting most from the healthcare system? What allows them to be benefiting more? Why are things the way they are, and how can they be improved? And what sort of treatment are we supposed to receive from the healthcare system? So these questions should be present on your screen right now. It's just the internet is being a little bit slow on my side. I can't share everything.
It's not visible.
Oh, okay, let me copy it and paste it in the chat box. Imogen, yeah, I see you say themselves. When you say themselves, who do you mean? Yes. They should improve by communicating with the community and his. Yes, that is, yeah, you see the aspect that you pointed out here with community and their side and their view. That is what we are trying to bring out here. And yeah, that's a very good response. Thank you. So I just want you to tell me, who do you mean when you say themselves? And yeah, yeah, that's the question. But for now, that will just be a question you can reflect on. You don't have to respond now. We're going through this a little bit faster than expected, but tomorrow we will try to cover a little bit more. Okay, then find whoever the people are keeping, or whoever is in a beneficial position is clearly keeping things the way they are. Then our role is also to identify how can we address this. You mentioned in your answer that we have to hear that both sides have to be heard. So this is the first exercise of this workshop, and each exercise that we do will be reviewed later on, and then you can receive your certificate. So the first exercise is to identify, either in groups or individually, however you want, identify the barriers in your context. Why, or at least one barrier. What stops people from? What stops the healthcare system from being as effective as it could be? Right. After you identify the barrier, then you come up with the solution. And this is this. I think I'll need the response tomorrow. Yeah, for this one, you can do it in groups of maximum 4. And then, yeah, you can send me your responses tomorrow. So, yes. And then after we identify the solution, then we can take actionable steps. So make sure whatever solution you come up with and whatever barrier you identify, it's something you are capable of doing, or something that you think we can do. Okay, see, target services, improving healthcare services depends in part on ensuring people have usual on. Yes, this is one. Yes, this is one really good barrier and response to it. So this can be something that you work on as well, but we will build on it tomorrow. And because of how the connection is right now, we can do one-on-one sessions. You can call me or text me, whatever you prefer. And yeah, or reach out to us through the email on the poster, and then we can better communicate on developing the solution that you've identified. Yes, this is really good. And take actionable steps. So just keep in mind your question and your solution, and then we can work on it, and feel free to reach me. So the next thing is, now that we've identified the problems, we've identified the solution, now we will take steps that's essentially the goal. And the steps that we will take, we will discuss tomorrow in greater detail. So that sums up the healthcare aspect of bodily autonomy and integrity in our exploration today. I will be able to share more information through your emails and contact details and contact persons, even via WhatsApp. So whichever one, just feel free to reach me at any point. Now we're just quickly going to move into the economic justice aspect of it. And yeah, just so we can end the workshop in good time. I just see it's afternoon and people can be a bit tired now. Okay, also, this is just for your reference. Yeah, we're just going to quickly watch this. And before we step into the economic justice aspect. Oh yeah, even on offline is fine. Also, you can give me a phone call or text with whatever way you prefer. I'm just going to type my number in the chat box where you can reach me. Okay, we had to move a bit fast because of the time, but yeah, for more information. So for now, just to get you thinking or to get ideas of where to start when you're identifying the problem and solution. Okay, I'll text it just now in the chat box. Okay. Here is a video to help you with that first assignment.
Hi, and welcome to this video on the social Australia. The life expectancy of Indigenous people is about 10 years lower than that of non-Indigenous people. Within a population, health is also influenced by social status. People with higher income, a higher level of education, and a better occupation have better health and a greater life expectancy. Health status can change as well. For example, studies of migrants have shown that the type of diseases, health behaviors, and risk factors are different in migrants compared to those in their country of origin. So why is there so much variability? To answer that question, we must understand the factors that can influence health. Let's have a look. A person's health is influenced by a range of factors called determinants of health. These include who they are, individual factors such as age, sex, and genetic makeup, and also what they do. This includes their health behaviors such as smoking, physical activity, alcohol use, and diet. Health is also largely influenced by the conditions in which people are born, grow, live, work, and age. These include their social and community networks, the socioeconomic, cultural, and environmental conditions that people live in, and also health systems. These are collectively called the social determinants of health. The social determinants of health are ultimately shaped by the distribution of money, power, and resources at an international, national, and local level. They have a marked influence on health inequities, which is the unfair and avoidable health differences between different groups of people within countries or between countries. Now, there are many different social determinants of health, working across many levels and with complex interactions between them. So, to understand and explain how these determinants influence and interact with each other to affect health and well-being, several models or frameworks have been proposed. There are many different frameworks that do this, but let's have a look at one useful framework developed by the World Health Organization. According to this framework, there are two broad types of health determinants that influence health and can lead to health inequities. These are structural determinants and intermediary determinants. Structural determinants refer to the socioeconomic and political context in which a person is born into and lives in. These include governance, how society organizes itself to make and implement decisions, economic, social, and public policies, and also the social and cultural values that communities place on health. These factors can determine and lead to the unequal distribution of material and monetary resources, which shapes a person's socioeconomic position. The socioeconomic position describes a person's place in society, which can affect their exposure, vulnerability, and outcomes to conditions that have an impact on their health. The socioeconomic position is determined by a number of factors such as education, occupation, income, gender, race or ethnicity, and social class. The socioeconomic position in turn affects the intermediary determinants of health. These include material circumstances, like the quality of housing, the financial means to buy healthy food, clothing, or other requirements for healthy living, and also the work environment. Psychosocial circumstances, like stressful living circumstances, relationships, and social support. Behavioral and biological circumstances. In addition to these, health systems have an impact on the type and quality of healthcare available to people. It also determines how easy it is for people to access health services and receive the healthcare they need. Social cohesion and social capital are factors that bridge the structural and intermediary determinants. They describe the willingness of people living in a community to make sacrifices and to cooperate with each other for a wider benefit. Intermediary determinants influence health and health inequities. It's also important to know that the links between these different factors are not always linear, but are complex and can go in both directions. For example, poor income and education can impact health, and also, poor health can limit opportunities for people to participate in the workforce or receive education. Also, if population is affected by a lot of disease, it can have a broader impact on the socioeconomic and political context. So how can we change or influence these determinants? Addressing the social determinants of health is not an easy task. It involves identifying the structural and intermediate determinants of health and taking appropriate actions to improve them. To do this requires actions across all sectors of society and at all levels, including local, national, and international. The actions will depend on the existing socioeconomic and political context, resources that are available, and commitment for action. And that's a quick introduction to the social determinants of health. We've had a look at what it is, how it impacts health, and a useful framework to understand it.
Okay, so yes, that video should help you. Okay, with the first exercise, just to be able to identify and think of different situations or barriers that we can tackle. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to step into the economic justice aspect of it, of this workshop. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. If there was something that you didn't understand or that you would like me to explain again, or if you need help with the exercise, feel free to reach me anywhere on any platform, either my number that I shared in the chat box or via email. Yes, then we can work on it and we can you can start individual projects, advocacy projects on healthcare. Okay. So now regarding economic justice, I'm just going to pass it on to Julia. She is going to lead this discussion. On to you.
Thank you, Bimbai. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Good afternoon to you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. Before we start.
Yeah, what's the question?
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
We can't hear. It's lagging. Oh,
You can't hear me.
signal problem, stuff like that. Something is wrong. It's hugging.
Something is wrong.
It's talking.
Something is wrong.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Julia.
I can't hear you, and then it's stopping like
Before we start,
it's going like that on. Yes.
I'm really gonna make this discussion very simple. So that each and everybody would like to engage and ask questions. Yes, wherever you don't understand, or if you feel like I should explain more, then I'm gonna say.
Oh. Yes, sure.
Okay.
So what's
okay,
the
before
question?
before we start, I would like to know how many people are in high school here? How many learners here? Students, employees, and business people.
How many?
Yes.
Kinder over themselves. We can't.
Oh, we only have learners.
We can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything.
It's like we have one word and the other one has been skipped and the other one is What's going on? Worry. You don't hack. Now we switch.
Hello. I would like to know if everybody else can hear me very well before we continue.
We can continue. Yeah, we are listening.
Okay, everybody else mute yourself so we can continue.
We can continue.
All right, thank you. All right, I hope everybody here understands the concept of bodily autonomy and integrity. And I hope everybody here understands the concept. I hope everybody here understands the concept. Can everybody else mute themselves? All right. I hope everybody here understands the concepts of bodily autonomy and integrity. So my role will be more focused on the economic justice. All right. And of course, we all know that bodily integrity means to make decisions for your own body, to make choices to what happens to your body, whatever you want to happen with your body, and nobody should interfere with your decisions. Once you have made such decisions, nobody else can take or violate such decisions, okay? All right. And this doesn't just come with your physical body, it also includes your internal body, and that includes your mind. All right, your decisions that you make. Okay. Just to explain on what is economic justice. Economic justice is a component of social justice and welfare economics. Okay, this basically means that social justice is a distribution of wealth, opportunities, and privileges within the society. All right. So now these things comes when you make decisions to your body. And if you are that type of a person that really have a problem to make decision on what's happened to your body, then you're gonna have a problem to make decision when it's coming to social justice and economic justice, because economic justice, you need to apply your mind to make decisions, strong decision on what happens to your body. And we all know that a healthy society, it's a wealthy society, okay? If you want to be one of that, to contribute to the wealthy society, you should be able to make good decisions when it's coming to your body.